Respecting customers' property is a huge part of our job, especially on the residential services. And a practical way to care about people and their property is to treat their belongings carefully. I have a few helpful tips on how to protect customers' property while you work, and especially on the inside. You want to put on shoe covers. No uncovered shoes inside. This is a big deal, especially for carpets and wood floors. And if you don't have them, take off your shoes and walk with socks. Now, when getting started on the inside of a home, set the cleaning bucket in a discreet place on a towel in the entrance out of the way, keeping the lid on the bucket for safety. And with ladders and towels, towel any dirt or debris off the foot of the ladder if you have to bring it in. Also set towels under the foot of the step ladder when you used on carpet, just to catch any mist dirt or water drips. And with those 24 extension ladders, when you bring those in on tile, marble, wood on the inside of a house, remove any area carpet that may slip and make sure the feet are properly set so they don't gouge the floor. As well, remember to wrap a clean towel around the ladder mitts when you need to use an extension ladder on the inside of a home, because ladder mitts are often dirty and will mark the wall. And when in the cold months, never use any blue anti-freezing water on the inside of a home. It will stain the paint. And an important reminder is to use steel wool rather than a scraper on residential windows. If you do need to use a scraper for paint or excessive materials, make sure the windows are not tempered or have vinyl coatings before using a scraper. Tempered glass has a softer finish, so it doesn't shatter into big chunks, but it does make that glass scratchable. And when you're working around end tables in a home, put the pictures face down on the table and place any lamps on the ground or in a secure position where it won't fall or get knocked over while you access the window. And protect the carpet in every room from dirty screens by putting down a towel or by not setting the dirty part of the screen on the carpet. And don't drip water on the carpet. Put a clean towel below your work area. You can also use towels to wipe your squeegee down after each use if the windows are extremely dirty. If you do notice a drip on the carpet, dab the black mark with your towel. Don't rub it. By dabbing it, this will take care of almost all drips, so not a big deal. But when you're dusting screens, try to do that outside before pulling it into the room. People are often sensitive to the dust, or you can use a really wet towel. And you don't want to leave that wet towel on any carpet or furniture, especially wood surfaces. Wet towels will leave marks. Don't pull or push furniture on any wood surfaces or the floor. This may actually scratch the floor. So if you got to move it, lift it and then place it. And at times, although it may be tempting, don't stand on furniture to access windows. If you do need to, kneel, put down a towel to access that window. Remember, homeowners are sensitive to how we're treating their home and their furniture. And that's why it's best to open blinds with two hands. One hand gently pulling on the string while the other hand guides the blind upward. So some blinds are weak or old, and you don't want to explain to the homeowner that it broke when you pulled on the string. So it's always best to use two hands. In the kitchen areas, don't stand on the countertops to access those hard to reach windows. You may kneel on the kitchen counter for the sink window, but it might seem obvious, but there are times when you will be tempted. Use a pole if you have to, or from a ladder. And you always want to wipe the water inside of the house. You want to make sure every area is as you found it and that's dry. And if you do splash on the wall, just dry it real quickly with your towel. It'll take care of it. Obviously, don't look through personal items. You want to cover electronics, anything that we're working around, and put a towel over sensitive documents just so they don't get wet. With those double hungs, when you're reinstalling the screen and closing it up, lock that double hung window. We've had them blow open before. You want to lock them so we know that their house is secure. And again, if you drip, always dab to dry up any water. Homeowners do notice when we're done how their carpet looks. And make sure all those screens are fully secured so when we get that windstorm, they're not blowing all over the place. Now for the outside of the home, I have a few tips, not as many, but don't work over vehicles as you may drop a tool on the vehicle and damage it. Ask the homeowner if they could move their car. This is especially if you're doing the traditional squeegee method. Make sure your ladder has rubber mitts to protect the exterior of the house when you're leaning it up. And as much as reasonably possible, use walkways to access windows versus walking on the grass or into mulch beds. Be mindful not to step on the plants and flowers when you do have to go in there. The ladies definitely notice crushed flowers. Now, if you do need to create a hole for the ladder foot so you get it nice and stable, just refill that hole when you're done. And if you're going into the backyard, latch the gate so the dogs don't run out. Don't leave the doors open when you're coming in and out as much as possible. We want the air conditioning to be going outside. Again, we want to be mindful of the walkways, that there's not mulch marks all over the place. And we want to pull the screens, clean them, make sure they're properly latched. So everything looks good as we found it. It's always best practice to double check your work, walk around the house, make sure you're not leaving poles or towels all over. We often get calls that will leave towels in a house. So on the inside, double check your work, check you're not leaving towels. On the exterior, make sure you're not leaving any poles or towels as well. A finished product makes a homeowner really happy, and that's how you're going to get the 5-star reviews that you're looking forward to having.